Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Melissa, and today's video I'm going to feature 5 plants that I have not shared with you guys yet. I did give you a peek at one of these plants already in a different video, so you will see that one again. Most of the plants that I'm going to share with you today I haven't had for too long, so they're pretty new to my collection. I'm actually going to be taking care and repotting 3 of the 5 because the other 2 I don't need to do anything with, are already repotted. So I thought it would be fun to do that while we chat about the plants and talk more about them. I thought it would be fun to maybe tell you more about their origin and maybe my plan with them. So that is my plan for this video. I really hope you enjoy it. And I think what I'm going to do first is do the repotting ones last. I'll go ahead and share with you the 2 that don't need to be repotted so we can get those out of the way. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and let's get started. All right, up first is this philodendron here. This is philodendron paraiso verde, but it's the albo variegated. And you guys did get a sneak peek at this one already. Out of the 5 plants I am going to show you today, this one is probably my least favorite because it's a philodendron. I don't know, I just never really was drawn to it, but you guys, I found this at the grocery store, so I couldn't leave it. For like 18 bucks, I had to get it because normally these plants don't have the albo variegation. I think that's what's more rare about this specific plant is the white variegation. Now, most of the original leaves that came with this plant did yellow off a lot of the smaller ones that had the more white variegation, and it's because I repotted it right away and shocked it. I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. It's going to push new leaves. It's actually already pushed 2, this one and this one. I do currently have this sitting on the shelf beside me here in the dining area, so it's not getting a lot of light. I actually am going to be moving this one to my plant room because I really think this one is going to really thrive in that room because it gets a lot more light, it's a lot more warm. That's sort of what the variegation is looking like on the new growth. So I really do think the increase in light will help bring out the more white tones. But you can see on that original leaf how white that one is. And the one in the middle is on its way out as well, but it had a little bit more of the white minty tones. So if you're familiar with this plant, you'll know it has more of like a mottled green, light green variegation, kind of like this, but it's more, I'll pop a picture because it's hard to really explain. The main reason why I got this, again, is because of the albo variegation, and you know, it was so cheap at my local grocery store, so I can always cut this up and propagate it in the future if I decide that I don't really want to grow it in my collection. I haven't decided, but I'm curious to see how it's going to grow for me and what the new leaves are going to look like. You know, philodendrons do get pretty big, and I have a lot of philodendron in my collection. I actually have another philodendron to show you that I got as well for this video. I do have to be mindful that this plant will probably get huge one day, so I would like to propagate it at some point, but I'm going to let it grow for a few months and just see what it does, and then I'll make a decision at that point. Someone did actually share with me that a plant shop was selling these, or I guess selling one of these for $750. I think it had 2 leaves that had more of like the albo variegation. So I don't know if that's what these are going for, but it is nice to know, or cool to know, that I did find such a rare, unique plant at my local grocery store. So you never know what you're going to come across or find. The only thing that I could really find out about this plant is it's native to South America, specifically Colombia is where this plant originates from. So that is that guy, philodendron paraiso verde albo variegated. All right, the next one I'm going to show you is one of my favorites out of the bunch, probably the second or third favorite. It's really hard to pick, and it's an alocasia. You guys know I do adore alocasia. I have actually been wanting this alocasia for quite some time, and I got this one actually over the holiday season as like a 1-leaf little corm. I got lucky to find this one. I had purchased a different one, or like a corm, but it didn't work out. So I'm happy to have come across this one. Are you ready for this one? Because it pushed out a new leaf recently and it is stunning. It's like tripled in size. Da 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 da. Look at this handsome guy. So this is none other than alocasia venom. Gorgeous, right? Absolutely stunning alocasia. So that's the newest leaf, obviously, and then we have one here. And you can see that size difference. Look at that. And then we have 2 babies here. So this is the original leaf. Where'd it go? This one here, this tiny thing here. And it's still holding on. And then this one here came out, and you don't really have any of that like minty silver. You can't really tell, but it does have an elongated leaf shape. You can see that tip there in that small leaf. This is the 3rd leaf here, and you can definitely see that venom, those characteristics. And then when this leaf was unfurling, you guys, I seriously just was shocked at that size jump. So this has been living in my IKEA Millsbo cabinet, so it does get pretty ideal conditions. I have been using a different feed the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it likes that or it just, because it's spring and it just exploded in growth, but it makes me excited to see what the other leaves are gonna do. Even that backside, look at that maroony color. The veining is like a neon green too in certain light. You can really see that. It's so unique. Look at that the little tail too. It's like a stingray almost. It looks very similar to alocasia loco, yeah. If you have seen that one, I can maybe pop a picture beside this one so you can kind of see the difference. Alocasia loco I don't have, but it's more common, so it's not that expensive. But alocasia venom is definitely more rare. So when I was doing research on this one, I was trying to figure out like the origin and where it came from. It was discovered in 2019 by someone named Mason Lee in South Korea. So I don't know if it's some kind of random mutation, I guess, that happened. I did read something about possibly having Amazonica lineage, but I don't know how true that is. And then the characteristics have been kind of fixed through like reproduction and propagation over several different, I guess, generations. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's very interesting, a very unique alocasia, and I really love like that pearly iridescence look to the leaves. So this alocasia is still considered more rare, and you know, hopefully in some time they can come down still in price. Since mine is, I feel like, still establishing, I don't think mine would be mature enough to produce corms quite yet, but eventually. But yeah, that's what that one looks like. Such a cool guy. Really happy to have him, and I'm definitely excited to see how this plant progresses over the summer for me, how big it's gonna get. Because this leaf size I thought was pretty big, like my hand already, so I'm very curious to see how it's gonna do for me. So yeah, that is alocasia venom. The next plant on the list that I'm going to share with you today is anthurium black widow crossed with black widow. I believe it's black widow 43 and black widow 12 maybe. That's what the leaves are looking like. Stunning veining. So most of you know I got into anthurium kind of late last year. I've always had like some anthurium in my collection, but I started collecting them more. And when I came across black widow, I fell in love with it actually. And you know, I tried searching for one, but I couldn't really find anyone selling it. I was on my Instagram and a plant shop posted that they were selling these, and I set my alarm and was on there like right on time to try and snag one. I unfortunately didn't get the one that I wanted. Like I couldn't pick one. So this is like their grower's choice. But honestly, you guys, the size specimen for grower's choice, like it's a pretty large anthurium. When I unboxed this, I was kind of shocked and blown away at the size of this. This leaf here is the newest one, but it's a bit damaged from shipping because I guess it was kind of unfurling when it was on its way to me there. But it is striking. Look at how beautiful that veining is. I've had this one for probably a couple weeks now, I think. It's probably my newest one in my collection, and so I've been letting it acclimate. It's still in the original mix, so I want to go ahead and get it potted up. I do think a 5-inch pot will be perfect, but I haven't taken a peek at the root system or anything, so I'm excited to repot this one because, yeah, like I said, I've been super into anthurium, and just thinking about the future of this plant for me, it would be fun to try and breed with it, or maybe just like self-pollinate it in the future. But I'm excited for it to grow more and everything. Okay, so that was the little tag. Yeah, it just says black widow crossed with black widow on the tag. I am going to show you another anthurium, probably last, because that one's going to be my favorite. It is my favorite out of the bunch and saving the best for last. But it's either this one is second or the venom. I can't really decide which one I like more. Ooh, look at that root system on that. Nice. I'm gonna make a mess here on my potting table. But yeah, this is an anthurium bred by Doc Block. And I think I was reading, he has a post on his Instagram about the Black Widow and more of the story. It was originally shared with him back in the mid 1980s by his farming neighbor and friend in Miami. His name is Tim Anderson. The original name for this was Stripes Tim Anderson because of it doesn't have many like lateral veins. Then it's been like bred over the last 40 years to kind of get these unique characteristics and everything that the Black Widow is known for. Very healthy root system here. And so what I'm gonna do is just, oh no, I did break a root accidentally. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. This just looks like all, I don't know if that's cocoa peat or what that is, but we're gonna give it some aeration. It even has like its little baby leaves. I believe these are still seed grown. Like I don't think these are tea seed or anything. So you can see the original leaves down here. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the newest one, 7. I probably eventually will cut this one off because it is looking a little funky, but I'm not going to do that today or anything. I'm going to let it grow some more and then I'll probably trim that away. So we're going to pot this one into my like aroid tree fern mix. I'm happy to be getting this potted up today though. It's been staring at me on my shelf down here. I'm like, I know I kind of want to film and share like me repotting this and everything, but I'm glad to finally get it done today. I've seen the Black Widow Michelle and Black Widow Carla Blackier, and those are both beautiful hybrids. Like I've seen pictures of them online. I haven't actually seen them in person. I am glad that I have just a regular Black Widow though. Put that down in there. I don't want this to be the front, but this leaf is kind of turned backwards. I guess it's gonna have to move this way. So all of my anthuriums are on the shelf beside me, and I've gotten a lot of new like little seedlings, hybrids in my collection, so they're still like very tiny. But eventually this whole shelf here is going to be anthurium, and I'm excited for that because, you know, these will eventually get bigger and bigger in my collection. I'm excited to breed some of these like in my future. Okay, some of the lower leaves got buried a little bit, but I think that looks good. Again, that's the leaf shape. Beautiful. It's very dark. Very gorgeous specimen of this guy. Super happy with it. So that is Anthurium Black Widow. I'll water him at the end since I have a couple more to repot. Oh, and I can't forget the tag. Stick this guy back in here. There, like that. Plant number 4 on the list is the other philodendron, and this is philodendron gloriosum variegated. Now, I do believe there are a few different types of variegated gloriosum, and I don't know exactly which type this one is. To me, it kind of looks like maybe a type 2. But the reason why I fell in love with this one and why I purchased this is because of the chunks, more chunkier variegation, like that leaf has a nice solid piece of variegation there. This leaf here is really nice as well. It is working on a new one here in the middle that you can see, and it looks nicely nicely variegated. And then this leaf isn't as variegated as much, and this leaf here. So this was a recent purchase, and so it's still in the original mix. And I am gonna grow this one in semi-hydro pond. My original one was purchased in like early 2021, and it's taken forever to grow. And I've struggled with that plant so much, you guys. There was like a time where it was like down to a nub, and I don't know, I just tried so hard to grow it and grow it and grow it, and I finally moved it over to pond, and it's done so well. I actually have it in my plant room. I have 2 pieces of it in a longer container because these guys crawl, and I'm in the process of retraining the leaves to grow the other way because for some reason, I don't know why I did that, but when I initially put my gloriosum in there, I guess I had the container turned the wrong way. So you know, since they crawl, the leaves only come out on like the newer growth, the leaves come out. So I had turned it around as to where the leaves were facing the back side of it, but they were growing on the opposite side. So I have it completely turned around the right way, but the leaves now have to retrain to like go forward so that when each new leaf comes in, it'll be facing the right way. So it's a mess. The leaves are all over the place, but it is finally growing for me. And because I struggled with this one so much, like my regular one, I'm nervous to keep it in like a aeroid mixed substrate. So I think it's best if I move this over to semi-hydro. But for today, I'm gonna let it grow in stratum for a bit, kind of let it settle in there for a few weeks, and then I'll get it potted into pond. Because I don't like to go to soil to pond. I know a lot of people do and have no issues, but I just prefer to go to stratum or water first. Now this one does have a nice little plug there, like a chunk of soil in the middle. So I'm just gonna get rid of as much of this as I can and rinse the roots off, and then we'll pot it up into stratum. I have seen these variegated ones, and I really love I think it's type 3, where it's like just the sectoral variegation, but those ones are definitely, out of the variegated gloriosums, those ones are more expensive. The type 1s and type 2s are still expensive, but they're not as pricey as the type 3s. It did speak to me when I came across it, so I just figured, you know what, this one is speaking to me. I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and I'm really happy with it so far. It's done well in the time that I've had it. What's really beautiful about the variegation is it's really hard to make out, but there is a pink hue to the rim. It's like I don't know, it's really pretty. Like the outline, like if you were to color something in and outline it, like the outline of the leaf is a pink color. So I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but it's really, really pretty. And it's like a creamy, this is like a creamy color. Some of the leaves, actually some of the white does look more white, but I love all the minty tones of this one as well. I am really happy with the specimen, and this will be like a personal plant. Like, I may prop it in the future, we'll see, but I don't plan on like cutting this one or anything, because I do want it to be pretty decent size in my collection. My original green one I still really love. That one I may chop back. On the back side of it, when I first planted it, it has a lot of those original leaves, and so I might like when it reaches the end of that container, what I might do is just do like a chop in the middle and like replant it back a little bit and let the bigger leaves keep growing, if that makes sense. I really like the mix that this one was in. It's really nice and aerated. Super nice mix. All right, I'm gonna quickly rinse the rest of this under my sink, and we'll be back to get it transferred to stratum. Here is the rinsed off root system there. And while I was rinsing it, I could see that the new leaf has a nice little section of white, so that's gonna be a beautiful leaf. Hopefully it doesn't get too angry that I'm disturbing it while it's unfurling. So yeah, it's a very beautiful philodendron. Like I said, I've always loved gloriosum, and I do really like the variegated version of it. So we're gonna do stratum and fill it up. All right, I just have to add water, but that is that cutie. Very beautiful, gorgeous plant. All right, last but not least is a little cutie patootie, and I bought this one pretty recently, like I said, and it's just one of my favorites right now. I can't stop staring at it. It's so beautiful, and it's the first plant in this genus that is variegated that I own, and it is this little cutie right here. This is a variegated anthurium. It is a crystallinum crossed with magnificum. And this plant, you guys, is so strikingly beautiful in person. So I have seen variegated anthurium, you know, going around and gaining more popularity. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea. I hear a lot that people say variegated anthurium, they look sick looking and they don't look healthy, which I do think some of the variegation on some of them doesn't look good, but I feel like this particular specimen is absolutely beautiful, especially this all variegated leaf here. It is working on a new one and I can tell it's going to be nicely variegated. It's going to take a bit for it to like harden off and for it to show up. I love that the first variegated anthurium that I own is a crystallinum and magnificum, because I have a regular crystal mag that I've had forever. It was one of my first anthuriums. And I feel like it's so hardy, it grows so well. I also selfed it before and I felt like it took so easily, and it's definitely been like a favorite tried and true anthurium. It's pushed out 2 leaves in only a short amount of time, so I do feel like this one is growing pretty quickly, and I'm glad that I have this one at the start of growing season. You can see how beautiful that all variegated leaf is. Like all the leaves on this are very beautiful, even that one right here. And that's the newest one. The variegation hasn't shown up on it yet. And there's like little ones here. You can see that one and that one here down there. There's a little one. So this came to me in moss, and you can see it has a nice little healthy root system starting. So I am going to go ahead and pot it up in the same mix and everything. I'm probably going to stick with a 3-inch. This is, I think, a 2-inch. So that's a 3-inch. I was trying to decide between a 3-inch and a 4-inch, but I think a 4-inch might be too big to start out with. So I think that'll be good. I was reading up on variegated anthuriums, and I don't think I'm gonna get a lot in my collection. One, because they're so freaking pricey, and hopefully those will come down in price over time. But I also do just like the regular look of anthurium, like the all green, and I love the vibrant emergence. And sometimes with variegation, you don't always get that, I guess. I guess it will depend maybe on the variegation and the type, but I feel like I like the look of the all green ones, but I do have a special place in my heart for variegated plants. When I saw this one, I just couldn't pass it up because I feel like somebody would have snagged this very quickly. It was already in, I think, I got this on Etsy, I think I said that, and it was already in a couple people's carts. And I think it had only been posted up maybe like a day, and I'm glad I bought it. I really am. I was a little nervous just because it was, you know, it did cost a pretty penny because it is so small, but I haven't come across one with this type of variegation before, like that good of color. And so I was reading about variegated anthuriums, and I believe there's only like a 25% chance of variegation showing up in like any offspring, but that's with crossing it with another variegated. Like if you were breeding it with another variegated anthurium, there was still like, there would be only a 25% chance. I don't know if that's true, but I thought I was reading something about that the other day. And so my plan with this one is to grow it to maturity and hopefully breed with it and see what happens. I would love to self it because my regular crystal magnificum selfed very easily, and I got almost 400 babies. I think it'd be cool to try and self it in the future and see what happens with the offspring, or try and breed it with another anthurium and see if I get some kind of cool variegated plant that would come out of that. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. It'd be fun just to see what happens, and that's what I'm most curious about or interested in. I know variegation can be so random sometimes and definitely risk-taking. So I probably won't be purchasing many variegated anthurium, like I said, in my future. I just came across this one and I just thought it was meant to be, because sometimes when you come across a plant and you immediately fall in love with it, you just have to get it, because there's been a lot of times where I didn't and I regret not getting that purchase. Look at the backside too. I can't stop staring at it. It is so beautiful. Nice little root system there. Yeah, we're gonna pot into a 3-inch for right now. I have a little myco here. I do have this one in higher humidity right now, so I'm probably going to leave it in high humidity for a bit until it can kind of grow more and establish a little bit more, and then I will acclimate it out. Because I have a lot of little seedlings that need to get acclimated out of higher humidity. I'm glad I'm finally getting it potted up though. I've been eager to get it potted up finally so it can get growing more. Do you guys like variegated anthurium? Are you into that? Not really. I think they're pretty. Not all of them, but I do think some of the variegated anthurium are really pretty. All right, that is the little cutie all potted up. I'm just going to water over this saucer tray. I don't have a container right now. I have a little bit of nutrients that I made up the other day, so I'm going to quickly give these guys a little drink. Oh, it is striking. I'm not going to give this one nutrients. I'm just going to use regular water for that one. And this one, we'll go ahead and water. The Black Widow. Okay, and I'll let that one drain. All right, and I filled that one up with some water. So that one's good. So those two, and then the philodendron, and then the alocasia. So yeah, that is it for this video. I'll get these all kind of put back away. I think they're all gonna go in my plant room right now, minus this one I'm gonna put back in the humidity dome out here, and then the Black Widow here I'm gonna put back on the shelf out here, and then everything else I'm going to fit. Well, the venom's been in my IKEA cabinet, and then the philodendron, I'm gonna find a spot for it. I think this one I'm gonna go ahead and put in my cabinet as well until I can get it potted up once it situates. I feel like it would appreciate that environment in my cabinet. So I'm really excited to see what all these are gonna do and how they're gonna grow, and I'm excited for breeding some of these anthurium, and hopefully the alocasia will give me some corms to grow out. And the other philodendron, the very first one, the paraiso verde, I'll probably end up propagating that in some time here. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. It was really nice getting to finally share some of these plants with you, especially I have been dying to show you this one. I didn't record me unboxing it or anything, which I kind of wished I did. I know my face was probably like in shock. I don't know, as soon as it got delivered, I like tore into it. Thank you again so much for watching and spending your time here. I'll keep you updated on these guys and how they do. I will be filming a plant update probably next week or the week after. It'll be sometime in April, so I can give you like a little bit of an update on these when I film that. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will talk to you again here very soon.